Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the Sick Podcast Talking Titans. We were unable to be at your service after the game on Sunday, but we are here and we will go over that debacle we saw. And I don't know, we're running out of topics to talk about because this team is just so unserious. But we'll do our best to try to sort through it all. So let's get rolling. Jimmy, start us up.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. Talking Titans.
Ward looking. Looping out of trouble. Trying to set up receivers. He's going to throw against his body to the end zone. Caught! Touchdown! Spectacular! Cam Ward, welcome to Nashville.
The sickest Tennessee Titans podcast. It's going to be sick.
Whoa, sorry. I was in the middle of something. Just trying to deal with my depression here, being a Titan fan. Let me get that out of the way. That'll be the last hit I take today. Welcome in, guys. Another edition of the Sick Podcast Talking Titans. Joined always by my counterpart, Jarett. How you doing today, Jay?
Hey, listen, I'm a little depressed, but, obviously we're used to this already by now because this team has showed us nothing, and it's just going to continue to show us nothing. So we're going to talk about that. So
absolutely, we will. It's gonna be a fun day here. We're gonna do our best to just keep it transparent with you, and not beat around the bush. I think a lot of you, that's what you want to hear now. You don't want to hear, the grass is greener on the other side. You just want it real. You want it handed to you on a plate the exact way it is. And right now it's shit. So we're gonna get into all of it. But before we do, let's first give a special shout out to our great sponsors, starting off with DraftKings. Game on. Week 9 starts now, and every touchdown brings you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. This isn't just football. It's first touchdown fireworks, anytime touchdown rushes, and live bets that ride every momentum shift. At DraftKings, every play is your next shot to win. New customers, this one's for you. Bet just $5 to get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, grab over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Your season starts now. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code 6SPORTS. That is code 6SPORTS to get $300 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first bet of $5 or more. Plus, over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. In proud partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, fees may apply in Illinois. 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday Ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday Ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday Ticket/terms. Limited time offer.
All right, Jarett. Let us know about our other sponsors.
We have another sponsor, brand new sponsor, Ultra. Obviously, I'm going to put one of these in just like you took another hit before. I'm going to put another pouch in over here. Before I do this read, but addicted to Zins, kick the nick and switch to Ultra Pouches, a new pouch that looks exactly like a pack of Zins, but without the nicotine. Instead, it's packed with nootropics designed to boost your brain and a hit of energy and mental clarity. It's like a Zin and Adderall had a baby, but without the crash. Give it a try today at takeultra.com and use our code TITANS.
Awesome. Make sure to do that.
This winter green is actually pretty damn good too. So
I'm gonna absolutely try it, 150%. I'll let you guys know. I'm sure I'll list as much as Jay does. But moving on, like we said on the opening, we were not able to join you guys post game on Sunday. Happy to be here now. The Titans got flat out embarrassed by the Indianapolis Colts. The interim coach showing like he has no interest of even maybe being interviewed for a long-term position, continues to emulate the wrongdoings of the guy he replaced, and it's also a fire sale's begun for the players that are worth a damn right now on the team that might not have been worth a damn to the locker room according to the management. So it's just right now we are in rock bottom. There's just no lower you could possibly go. And I guess it's cliche, but we have to just look like it can't get worse, right? It's got to be going up soon, right, Jarett?
Yeah, I mean, just like I said, we've been talking about this whole time. It comes down to, I know, we're going to talk about the game, but we're going to talk about what's obviously brought the Titans to this point, being 1-7. And obviously everyone's posting all over the place. We've been talking about it for years now. The draft class has been absolutely horrendous. That's what's brought us here to this point where we have Chig as the only one in 23 players drafted since 2020 on the roster. So right then and there, how it got this bad and how everyone let it get to this point, because we had a lot of core nucleus guys like the Luans, the Ben Jones, like the core starters. But outside that depth, there was really nothing. So, I mean, maybe we were blind to it, going into it all these years, but it's been really bad. And it's been obviously showing on Sundays right now. 2 touchdowns we had on Sunday. Jonathan Taylor had 3. I saw another stat where we have 9 total touchdowns all year. Like I said, with that asterisk, and Jonathan Taylor already has 14. It's just an utter embarrassment. And anybody, whoever can say, I saw PFF with Big Cat and them talking that like they don't want to even watch the Titans at all anymore. I don't pay no attention to that shit because how can you really evaluate Cam Ward's performance going into this year? He has no one to throw the ball to, right?
No.
Elk Island Manor, Chim looks like he could be it. Getting open with 7 catches, 93 yards this past weekend. So there's bright spots on this team, but you can't evaluate a quarterback who's running for his life, in the pocket. He really has no running game. Obviously, Tajay Spears is, a piece that we can move forward. Tony Pollard's on the trade block. Obviously, Chig is on the trade block. So this whole team is on the trade block, but it's been a disaster all the way around, man. And Sunday, this is the 3rd game now this year. I've kind of shut it off. Obviously, I told you guys I had to shut it off for a work emergency. But going into it, I just felt like at halftime, I'm like, can I film the rest of this game? Because it's flat out boring. We see everything. It's very predictable. The coaching malpractices, not going for it on 4th and 4 on the Colts 42-yard line when your quarterback is screaming at you. What are we doing, Mike? Go for the ball. What do we have to lose at 1-6? You're at division rivals' house. It's 4th and 4 on their own 42. Just go for the thing. What is there to lose at that point? So I mean, at that point, that sucks the life out of the locker room. As a player, you want your coach to have balls, kind of like Dan Campbell, and we've seen nothing of that from this coaching staff. And I saw a tweet earlier today that last year Brian Callahan's assistants got extensions going into next year. That's just how, in my opinion, I know you're a big Amy guy and ownership guy. That just shows you how out of touch they are. They're just giving these guys extensions and they're not actually knowing what football really is. They're just going with emotions. And with Borgonzi, hopefully things will change.
Yeah, I mean, I as much as I do support Amy Adams Strunk and her ownership, I'm not saying she's gone without mistakes. That is absolute fact. There has been a plethora of mistakes that she's got the final say in, and she could have avoided and wasn't able to do it or chose not to. So she is not blameless at all here. I just think people are out of their mind and think she doesn't care. She definitely cares, and she definitely wants to set a standard of winning. It's just the people she's putting in place to do their jobs are not holding up their end of the bargain, and they need to be held accountable. You can't get mad at somebody. You can't get mad at the person who hired someone to do their job if the guy you hired isn't doing their job. Okay, you can't. If you own a school building and your principal hires a exterminator to do a job and the job's not done, you're not going to get mad at the principal. You know what I mean? Like, you understand where I'm going with this? It's very simple if you look at it that way. My point being, that was so unnecessary, but at the end of the day, this team is in a landslide or in a free fall. And I think this organization is just kind of like, there's nothing we can do now, but just kind of grab onto something firm like an earthquake and wait this season out and then just kind of demolish everything. Because they're going to have to demolish everything. There needs to be an entire new group of people in this organization that start setting everyone accountable for their actions and for their jobs they're supposed to do. Because there's just something. This is slipping away. It's not looking like anything we used to see anymore, and it's sad.
That's exactly where culture comes into play. Culture is a big thing, and Vrabel had the culture. Obviously, he wanted a lot of power, and they didn't want to give it to him. But you have Rand Carthon on CBS Sports saying that the Patriots are firing on all cylinders because you have a great coach over there. So who really was the one that fired Vrabel? Did Vrabel want out? Did Amy really want him out and have a new say, in a new style of offense? It clearly backfired everything in our face. But clearly this roster is the biggest reason of the fall. And it could have been Vrabel's downfall, obviously, because Vrabel's an excellent coach. And I know we're going backwards in time, but the whole revamp of this roster needs to happen. It needs to be a mix of, you remember when we had those good times where we had the 19 and 20, it was a mix of really good rookies and young guys, and then we had a really solid group of veterans. If we can bring that back within the next 2 years, because guys, next year, I got news for you. If you think next year is going to get any better, we may get a little bit better. But you're looking at like the 27-28 season where the Titans are going to actually be competitive again, in my opinion. I don't see it happening just because of the fact that, we have $135 million and we're going to have a top 3 pick. We're trading assets right now. Obviously, it's Mike Borgonzi's vision. Roger McCreary and Brownlee Jr. were not in his vision, or he maybe has a head coach in mind and he knows his vision maybe by now. And they're just trying to, get draft picks. I know everyone's sitting, I don't know how you felt on the trade with McCreary. We didn't talk about it yet. I knew we were going to talk about it today, but a lot of people were complaining about it. I've seen. Why are we complaining about this? We're accumulating draft picks, one, to move up possibly in the second or third round, and we're getting the higher pick in the 5th round and losing our last pick in the 6th round. So, right then and there for a player, all right, we have to revamp. There could be trades coming up for another player that we don't know. There's free agency. So let everything play out right now, and that's where I'm at right now. I'm not getting angry. I saw your post game on the way home back from the hospital the other day, where you said you're not bulging in any veins. You're not getting pissed off anymore at this team because you know what? It's the God's honest truth. That they haven't given us anything, so why would we give anything to them? We've been given our blood, sweat, tears, but our heart and soul, buying all this stuff that we wear to support this team. And for them to show really nothing on Sundays where it's yawn football, it's just getting to be at a point where, we scratch our head watching this football team.
Yeah, you're seeing a perfect storm of bad roster meets bad coaching meets bad decision making. You're gonna fall into some pretty dark times. It's a perfect storm. Nobody's doing their job properly. People are pretty content being as bad as they are. You got nothing to worry about. You mentioned top 3 pick, Jarrett. This is the worst team in the league. They are going to get the number 1 pick overall. So, we can start looking about what we're going to do with that number 1 pick because, we couldn't dream about scoring 40 points in a game on the road like the Jets did. Saints are almost in every game, so they're going to whip our ass. Browns are going to have Shador by the time they play us, and he's going to have his best. Too. Huh? Yeah, but
they
they have
a really good defense.
Really good. That's a top 5 defense.
If they ever had a quarterback or anybody, they would be a playoff team.
No, but don't worry because, like I said, he's going to have at minimum, at worst, it'll be his first game. Actually, that'll be the worst case scenario, I think. And it'll be just like a Johnny Manziel situation. Whether Shador becomes great after that or not, we'll see. But if he is a bust, he'll have his career game week 1. He'll throw for 315 yards and 2 touchdowns. We're going to be the number 1 pick. So I don't know what we're going to do with it yet, if it's going to be traded or if we're going to use it on an edge rusher, whatever the case may be. But start thinking about what that first pick's going to get you because you have it. With that being said, this coach just has to have energy unlike anything we've ever seen because this franchise has nothing. They have no pulse. They just don't feel like an NFL team. And I say this over and over again. I watch so much football, whether it be at night, other games. It looks like this team is playing the game like a half a step slower than everyone else. And it's surreal. It just looks like everyone's moving faster. The O-line, the running backs, the quarterbacks. It looks like they're moving at a different pace than everyone. And it's an effort problem just as much as it is a roster problem. And when you have an effort problem with the top tier athletes in the world, you're going to be a horrible team. No, especially when you don't even have that good of a roster to begin with. So it's just nothing. There's nothing positive that can come out of this. And as it pertains to the trade, as I mentioned on Twitter already, I think if Borgonzi and Brinker, I think they must know or have a good, estimation that they weren't getting McCreary again. Like he wasn't getting, unless they made an offer that was too good to refuse. And I think somebody was saying like he's on track to maybe get like 11 or something stupid like that. No way on earth they should give him a 10-figure contract. That's absurd. They're getting rid of everything. I think we value picks a little bit more than we should at that level in those rounds. I think we should maybe weigh the talent of the player we're getting rid of a little bit more than the picks. But I do want as many as we can get.
Well,
that's
you have to. Sorry to cut you off, but you have
no,
to.
go ahead.
You have to think about the big picture now, Sal. Like I said, we're not going into next season as a playoff team, okay? And anybody here, if you think that, we're diehard fans. We speak the absolute truth on this podcast, whether anybody likes it or not. We are not going to be a playoff team. We may compete a little bit, and by competing, I'm saying maybe 4 to 6 wins at most next year, okay? With acquisitions, with trades, and everything like that. You have to think of the future now, okay? You have a lot of good players coming out in the following draft, right? Like I said, if we accumulate a draft pick and then all of a sudden, boom, we have our Jeremiah Smith, our Ryan Williams in the following year, right? And we have 2 firsts. If we have a number 1, we're not drafting number 1. We may move back a little bit and someone who's quarterback hungry where we can get a number 1 for the following year. That's where I think he's going to start playing his chips here now, which would be smart, in my opinion, to start building for the future and start building a core nucleus of young guys with a mix of really good veterans that come in here because, in my opinion, that's the way you're supposed to build a football team. And I don't want to see an offensive lineman. I know we're going to get into draft talk later on in the season, but that's how I think they're going to play this out. They're going to compile a ton of picks to try to move and manipulate the draft. Because that's what good teams do. The Patriots did it for a while with before Mike Vrabel and on the back end of Belichick, and now look at their roster. They're one of the hottest teams in the league. All these other teams do the same thing. The Chiefs. That's how they build with him. Morganti knows what he's doing, so hopefully that is the vision. Moving forward into the next 2 seasons.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think a perfect example of how you can, basically show evidence of how much culture is important and, leadership is important. You look at a team like the Commanders. Now, I'm not saying like by any stretch that they're completely out of a chance of some sort of wild card, but to be an absolute shit show 2 years ago. Then you get Jaden Daniels, who plays out of his mind, get 1 game from the Super Bowl last year, and then a little bit of an injury from him, and the whole team just kind of collapses. And that's just the NFL, man. Like, it's so important to have everyone bought in, because if everyone's not bought in on every single play on every single Sunday, you're going to get those lapses of time where it doesn't make sense why you're not as good as you were, because well, you've been playing great for the last 2-3 years. Why is it everyone's got to be in on it every single day? And clearly there's no unit with this group. Clearly there's no leaders on the roster. Forget about this coaching staff. I mean, yes, Jeffrey Simmons. Okay, that's fine. I'll give you that. He's a guy that people should fear and people should look up to. But like offensively, not one person. Cam Ward can't be that guy yet. He's had 0 success in the NFL. No one's going to take him seriously as a guy that's going to get in your face when you're not doing your job. He's got to win first before he can do that. Now, when he does win, hopefully when he has big wins under his belt, I would expect him to be a real freaking pain in the ass to the players that he doesn't believe are doing their job. A perfect example would be Jeff Saturday and Peyton Manning, that kind of situation. Not that specific, but that kind of dialogue between players. Like, hey, do your fucking job. Stop worrying about my job. And then, of course, they're best friends, and they've won a championship together. So my point is, you need that ferociousness and that desire to win above all else. And there's just not enough guys on this team right now that I feel have that desire to do it. And until we start building a group that does, you're going to be seeing the worst team in the NFL every single year. Like, it's just the way it is. Like I said, there's a reason why it looks like these other teams are moving at a different speed, because they want it more. Well, you know what I mean? They want it more.
They do want it more, and like I said, it's showing obviously with the draft, with the free agency we bring in. We're taking guys like Femi and J.C. Latham, and like I said in the last podcast, where we can't take bona fide players in college. Like, Brock Bowers and Jordan Davis and Pat Fryermuth and Nick Bolton, like all these guys, like we should have been drafting all these guys just like every other team, right? But we take these projects in these early rounds where you should be taking those projects in the late rounds. You can't miss on talent when you're trying to build a core football team. You can't take projects, in my opinion, and hopefully Borgonzi sees that and knows that, and moving forward, like I said, that's how you build a championship football team, right? We've swung and missed on everything. Like I said, if we were on the coaching staff along with some other podcasters, and I got 6 friends who we did coach football together, we could probably go out there and draft better than these guys that are getting paid multi-million dollars. It's not hard to draft bona fide studs versus needs, in my opinion. You can grab needs in free agency. They may not be great, but they can hold you over a little bit until you find that guy that you want, like the Joe Walls. So that's what's the frustrating part over here, especially seeing now that it's all over the place. And like we've been talking about the last 2 years with drafting, how when you look at those draft classes the last couple of years and you're like, holy shit, Chig is the only one on the team and he ain't even that great. So he's probably going to be the next one gone, in my opinion. I know we're going to talk about that, but it's just mind-boggling how bad the decision-making from the top has been to get it to this point.
I think there might be a chance, and this is a fear, that maybe Amy Adams and anybody else involved in the ownership group, I think they might have their mindset on continuing this tradition of play style that this franchise has had since its inception. Okay, this has been since, what was it, 1968, whatever it was. This has been a ground team. This has been a beat you in the trenches team. And they had some real stretches of success with it. They had some stretches in the 70s, or I guess more along the lines of the 80s, 70s, 80s. Then the early 2000s. Hell, they had some success with it in the late teens. Okay, but it's not going to work anymore, man. Okay, Earl Campbell couldn't win you a championship. Eddie George couldn't win you a championship. Derrick Henry couldn't win you a championship. You haven't had one single Hall of Fame, even ballot member at wide receiver in 20 plus fucking years. Think about all the dynasties, all the teams that are teams that you are used to seeing win.
Yep.
Can you name some of their pass catchers? I bet you can. Now, can you name any Titan running backs? Oh, I'm sure you can. It's not going to work anymore, man. So if this is Amy's thought process, if she's going into those meeting rooms and saying, hey, whatever we do, I just want to continue the tradition of football that my father watched and that we've had in this organization since we played further south than we do now. If that's what she wants, then I have no choice but to try to campaign for her to do something with it. That can't be it anymore, and that's what it looks like they're trying to do. So all I can stress for Mike Borgonzi for this next offseason, and I'll give Chad credit too, because I think another thing we need to talk about is how this needs to be more of a vertical staff rather than a horizontal. There's too many people holding hands, and that's just not going to work. But I stress mightily for Mike Borgonzi specifically that he needs to attack people that can get into the end zone and that can take away the football on defense, whether that be via sack or interception. You have to get those playmakers. We've never tried to get them. A couple times that we've had, it's failed miserably, but we cannot stop. We need that pass catcher that's going to be with the team until he's 32 years old. Okay, it's just you're never going to reach the goal if you don't, man. You can draft a fucking offensive lineman in the first 15 picks for the rest of time. If you don't have anybody to catch, well, you could be blocking the guy for 100 years. Okay, we need better than Tyler Lockett in the slot. Okay, if we want to actually compete in a new building that's going to be done very soon. So that's all I got to say about that. But yeah, like I said, rock bottom, man. There's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go but up. But at this point, and that's what I love about our show is that we're not uniform. We don't have topic bullet. We go on and we talk about the team how anybody would talk about the team at the cooler right now. This is an embarrassment. Anybody who invests 2 minutes watching this on behalf of being a fan of this team, I mean, all the praise in the world. You're like us, and we can appreciate that. But they don't deserve it. They don't. The players on this team don't care, besides a handful. Right now, ownership's pretty much content with the implosion of the team from top to bottom. And we were sold a bag of goods that is just not even edible, let alone healthy. So that's where we're at, and I don't I don't have many answers left. So
I mean, before we get into I'm looking down here, and I'm already on 26, and I got news for you. Yeah, we got all this boatload of money, and there's not one NFL free agent wide receiver that I'm saying, yep, dump the money on this guy.
yeah,
And that's just a luck. Maybe, we can get guys in here.
I looked at the list.
There's not going to be no difference maker on this list at all. And like I said, there could be a rookie, or via trade. There's always that option.
Well, that's it.
Like I said, we need that playmaker. Like you said, we had it. We don't have it no more. And Calvin Ridley's not it. So all you guys saying that Calvin Ridley could be the number one, he's not. You need a diva. He's a quiet leader, where you need a guy that's an in-your-face kind of leader, just like you said, about Cam Ward. That's where I fear, how we lose this. But you have to have faith in the front office, because they know that they have to get weapons for him. Obviously,
Yeah.
no one can get open on Sundays, and obviously we can't run the ball either. So the next people, in my opinion, how we're going to roll right into the next topic here is the trades. Right, we had 2 cornerbacks get traded already for late round picks. In my opinion, you could take Tony Pollard, you could ship him out to a playoff caliber team. I think he'll be a difference maker on that. On a team like a 1-2 back, kind of like Gibbs and Montgomery. I'm not saying he's going to be like that performance, but you can have Chig out there as well. Get him out of there, and people were saying the same thing about Draymond Jones and Arden Key. I know we posted it as well on our Twitter page, a poll. But all those guys, man, whatever you can get from those guys, I would take at this point. If you're going to try to revamp that roster, you're going to try to bring the try to come back down into the draft. Anything helps at this point. Just to get some guys out of there and out of contracts that we're paying for.
Yeah, I think there's a couple. There's a couple receivers that are going to be 5th-year optioned. Because I looked at that list on Sunday. I think it includes Drake London, Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson. I think these are 3 guys that are approaching year 5, and you would assume they're going to at least pick up their option.
Yeah.
If they're in a situation where they believe there's almost no chance they're going to get an extension done, then I think the door is open for a possible trade for those guys after the 5th-year option. So it'd be a sign and trade deal. It wouldn't be cheap. I'll tell you, even for 1-year rental, wouldn't be cheap for any of those 3. But if you're not doing that, then you better get the best receiver in the draft, and you better make sure if you trade that number 1 that you're not going too far down to miss them. And that's just there's no. I mean, we're at red alert here with Cam Ward.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
So you need to come out of this draft, unless you are going to trade assets for one of those 3 guys that include Drake London, Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson. You put any of those 3 on the team next year, use that first pick somewhere else. I'm fine with them and Ridley and DK and Io Manor, okay? But if you don't do that, which is a very untightened thing to do, then I'm just going to say it now. I don't care. I don't care if fucking Lawrence Taylor's in this draft. You go get the best wide receiver. End of story. End of discussion. The most clear-cut, can't-miss receiver. I don't know who that is yet.
That's
but whoever that's going to be.
Jordan Tyson right now, who's from Arizona State. He's balling out.
Okay.
He's got comps of Jackson Smith and Pickens, but like I said, who knows?
I want a guy with size. I want at least a 6'2" guy.
And he's exactly a 6'2" receiver outside.
Okay. So, listen, it's such a shame that we're still in October and we're already in off-season mode. But that's just that's this fucking organization's fault. So I'm not going to feel bad about it. You guys know why we're doing it because there's nothing to dissect about this team. They're about to be dismantled. They're not competitive. They have an effort problem. It's just there's nothing to really. We need to start talking about 26. So, but with all that being said, I would definitely expect Chig to be gone. The fact that they traded a guy like McCreary like 2 weeks before the deadline, that tells me probably everyone's going that you would think might go is gonna go in the next 2 weeks.
Fire sale.
So that's going to be disheartening for Cam Ward. They must be banking on this kid's steel trap to be very strong, because if you're gonna have a fire sale on without a shadow of doubt the worst team in football, I would have to assume you're content being a total embarrassment for the next 2.5 months. Okay.
Without a doubt.
Okay, fine.
Forward.
I mean, I would just hope Cam Ward is understanding of what the situation he's in and can still find ways to build each week.
All you got to do is, and I've been looking at stat-wise and just looking at Cam Ward. Technically, I think he had one of his better games against the Colts. A lot of it was garbage time, but you just want to see him progress, okay? Going through his reads, I would love to see him step up in the pocket and run a little bit more. I don't know why he holds on to the ball so much. If it's not there, like Pat Mahomes last night, if it's not there, go run for 10 yards. Go run for 12 yards. Just go run.
Yeah.
Get yourself some he's obviously going to learn, and he's going to see that. The new coach, a veteran coach that comes in, they're going to see this, and they're going to say, take this. If the first read's not there and you got pressure, just go. And that's just about part of the learning process for him. And hopefully we'll start seeing that, from week 8 on now, and just continuous growth from him. Because if we start seeing, it get worse and worse and worse, at least he's building chemistry now with Gunnerhelm and Chim and Isle Manor, where he gave it to Isle Manor where he could have kept on running, and he wasn't expecting that ball, and he put it in a perfect position for him, to grab it, and he just stopped running. We can't have that stuff in the NFL, so.
It's a shame it's never going to happen because I think it would really be more embarrassing to the next guy as it would be for Mike McCoy. But I mean, if I'm the owner and I give 0 fucks, which you would think most owners in this situation would be at that point, I mean, I'm kicking the curb on hin too right now. He's an absolute joke. He's adding nothing. He's in a spot where it's supposed to be your last, lifeline, pump in the chest to get something, and you're still getting less each week. So it's just get him the fuck out of there. If you're going to trade everyone away on the worst team in football, you should not care about what you do, with the staff. Put Fossil in there. I mean, again, like I said, it's never going to happen because I think it would be more embarrassing to Fossil. Like, oh, I'm in the second interim. So I don't think he would take too well to it. But if he wouldn't care, oh my God, Mike McCoy is a fucking piece. I'm not gonna. For him to have the audacity to coach this conservatively when he replaced the worst coach in NFL history on the worst team. I keep saying I want you to make sure you keep knowing it. Worst team in the league. Like that is a different level of neglect. You got to be the biggest jerk off on earth to just fucking do that and not expect to see the result that you see right here. So I can't wait till he's out of here. And you know what? Denard Wilson, he can fucking get out of here. And Nick Holes, he can get the fuck out of here. All of them. They can all go. The guy who fucking grabs the ball during the kicks, he can fucking go out of here. The K guy, get him out. Ship him out. I'm done with everyone. But yeah, if we can trade him too, I'd trade him for a peanut vendor. But yeah, we'll keep you up to date on everything. I think we're going to roll out, Jerry. I think we're ready to rock. We're going to keep you updated each and every day on anything that happens, as we love to do. I'm sure there'll be more news as the coming days, keep on rolling. But yeah, no, we're going to have a fun time. So I think we'll be good to go Sunday after the game, right? That's not a 4 o'clock, it's 2, is it?
Oh no, it's 1 o'clock our time, so 12.
It's 1 our time, yeah. So we'll be good for that one. That should be fun. 9 and Jarrett. The audacity.
Up at 9 now.
It's at 9. If I could do it with a good conscience, I would rob my parents and put it on the fucking Chargers -9 and just give them 80% of it. Say, you're welcome. It's such a lock. It's not even funny. Like, please, anyone watching who doesn't care, like, I can't, my soul doesn't allow to bet against the Titans. If your soul allows it, put every nickel you own, your kid's college fund, everything on the Chargers -9. In fact, if you got some extra money, kick it up to 13.5. Why don't you? Because that's looking good too. That's how fucking bad this team is.
I'm very curious to see the fans how they will be in Nashville, because I think that's going to be
Fans.
It's going to be all Chargers fans. So
Yeah.
God bless anybody who's going to that football game on Sunday.
Yeah. God bless you. Really,
If you
no.
do go, bring those brown bags.
Bring those brown bags. Boo Mike McCoy's fucking ass as loud as you can. Maybe, go buy one of those last corduroy Titan hats that Artie Wilson used to wear. Maybe hand him that. Say, hey, bud, put this back on. Actually, you might want to try it again. But yeah, we'll keep you up to date, guys. As always, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Hit that hype button. Yeah, we appreciate it. We want to keep our following up. Subscribers been kind of stagnant lately, so if you're not subscribed, go ahead, just click it. It's easy. We want to get to 3,000 before, let's say, Thanksgiving. Let's try to do that. So, hope everyone has a great rest of their week. We'll catch you later on. And as always, tighten up. Jimmy, send us out.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Talking Titans on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.